Well, good morning. Welcome back to Maidan. Building up to World Cup 2023, we're joined by a man who's looking for his fifth win in the race. Electrocutionist, Moon Ballad, Country Grammar, and way back Dubai Millennium 23 years ago. Gave Frankie Dettori his first win in the Dubai World Cup. Frankie, we know this is a significant year for you, and this must be a big week as well, being back here in Dubai, a place that's given you so many good memories.
Yes, of course. I worked for Godolphin for 18 years and spent many winters with my family. My kids grew up here as well. So, yeah, he's always feels quite emotional and special when I get here. So, this is no different. It's my last World Cup. So, and I ride two horses that have won here already. So, it's extra pressure on and I'm looking forward to it.
And how did it feel coming out of the airport, coming back here, knowing this is going to be your final time with a chance on a Dubai World Cup card?
I'll be honest with you, I'm completely jet lagged, so I didn't feel that good. Yeah, listen, I'm just thinking of the task ahead. I've got 7 rides on Saturday, and I got to prepare myself equally for my best for every one of them. So I've got plenty on my mind at the moment, and obviously with the draw yesterday, now we can get to work. And yes, I'm not just thinking of my farewell. I'm thinking of trying to do well on Saturday.
And looking back over the years, the 23 years since your first win in the Dubai World Cup, how have you seen racing here in Dubai develop and change?
Well, look, it started with Nader Al-Shiba back in the day. It was just a jockey's challenge. And then the 90s, was it 96 when Cigar won and we had the torrential rain. So, I mean, Dubai World Cup now is established in the racing calendar, is one of the major races. And then Sheikh Mohammed created Maidan, what is a probably unique track with an amazing grandstand and with amazing racing. So, I've seen it develop from Cigar to now. So it's been, it seems like yesterday, but I think nearly 30 years, right?
Yeah, nearly 30. And what would be your favourite memory looking back over all of your big wins here?
Well, obviously, Dubai Millennium is probably the best horse that I've ridden. That performance, he broke his own track record. Then he stood till, Nader Al-Shiba got replaced by Maidan. So I would say, and it was my first one as well, and it was the Millennium year. So many good memories, But look, all the other 3 were special too. So I'm not going to discard them that quickly.
And how satisfying was it last year to win on Country Grammar? You'd gone quite a long time since the Dubai World Cup win. Was it you getting to that stage of your career where you were thinking that the chance of winning another one might just be starting to evaporate?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Now that I'm not riding for Godolphin, I thought, I'd be very, very hard to get another chance. I did have a couple of rides in the past, but really not at the standard of Country Grammar, and it just fate really, because I was here last winter and I went to see a polo match with my friend. It was his birthday, and I met Amir Zidane, and he was explaining to me that he was a big fan of mine, that he won the Kentucky Derby and so on and so forth, and he loved me to ride his horses one day. And then I was at Cheltenham, and my agent told me that Flavian Prat decided to ride something else. So I managed to ring Zidane, where I kept his number from that famous polo game. I wasn't playing, by the way. I was just enjoying myself. And I called him, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love you to ride a horse. Just ring Bob." So he gave me Bob's number, and I called him. I was at Cheltenham watching the races, and that's how I got the ride. A month later, he wins the World Cup. Just be in the right place at the right time, to say, right?
And how do you assess his chances coming back 12 months on?
Obviously, it looks a very, very competitive race. Last year, beforehand, we thought that Life is Good was unbeatable, and it probably was till the furlong pole. Then it just collapsed. This year, more strengths in depth, 8 Japanese runners, multiple Group 1 winners, massive field. One thing for sure with Country Grammar is all heart. He's leaves everything on the track. He knows he's going to run till the end. So I couldn't ask for a better companion. But he's not going to be easy. Like I said, for obviously 14 is not ideal, but I spoke to Amir Zidane last night. I said, listen, it is what it is. We can't change it now. So let's get on with it and see how the race unfolds. And but like I said, I can't really say a bad word about Country Grammar because if you look at his form, he's all guts. He's a proper horse.
And we really saw that in Saudi. I guess you can take plenty of encouragement from the way you ran that day. You looked as though you got to be out of the money coming out the backstretch, and somehow he managed to pop up there in second.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, even the way that he ran in the San Antonio, he was sharp and he made my life easy. I was kind of in the back of my mind, I was expecting him to be a little bit like that, but I was outpaced around the turn and I thought, well, I'm in trouble here. But again, same as last year in the World Cup. I mean, he just does not know how to give up. And sometimes he runs out of runway, but he knows that he's going to give you everything he's got.
And what would a win in the Dubai World Cup on your final ride in the race, given the attachment you have to this place, what would it mean to you?
Yeah, I don't know, but obviously it's a big race. I'm not thinking of that at the moment. I'm just thinking of trying to get the job done, right?
Yep. And as you say, 7 good rides. You got 3 for Bob. You got a few for John Gosden. What are you else looking forward to on Saturday?
Well, a little bit of everything. I'm riding a Saudi Sprinter. Will run very well in Saudi. Trawlerman, he didn't run that well, but he was his first run from a layoff, so I'm expecting to improve. Looking forward to ride Bob Buffer 3, including Country Grammar on the dirt. That's their bread and butter. Obviously, the Derby horse is solid. The Sprinter, solid. But they are very competitive races. Lord North, I love him to bits. He has his problems, but he always turns up here at the right time. And I rode him this morning, and he seems in good form. And then obviously the big one. So I think that's. Oh yeah, I've got another one for
Senor Toba.
Hong Kong. That looks an outsider. I was meant to ride Emily Upjohn, and Casper asked me if I would ride it. I said yes.
And you seem to be really enjoying this year so far. The American adventure's gone really well.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'll be honest with you. Perhaps I should have done it 10 years ago. I didn't realize I was going to do so well in America. The lifestyle suits me. But I think success will make the difference. Having a good start and lots of winners has made my winter really pleasurable.
Yeah.
And my wife's enjoyed it. Yeah, I've been there 3 months, just gone like that.
Okay, we'll open it to the floor. Any questions for Frankie? We've got a microphone that we'll pass around to you.
Save it for Charlie. It's just round the corner.
Yeah, Charlie Apple is coming in a second. Just down the front here. Oh, sorry, go and join.
Frankie, so many memories on the tracks and off it of Dubai. If I have to just ask you, you told about the 2000 win, your first, as one of your most unforgettable ones. But outside the track, you had a restaurant. You had so many things going over here. Your association with Sheikh Mohammed. Can you just tell us of the memories outside the track that you will never forget in your life?
Well, I would say probably seeing my kids growing up. Before preschool, we used to take him all here for 3 months, and playing in the kiddies pool and little swings, and take him to the water park. I think it was a special memory that you never forget. Now they're grown-ups, they're driving, and they got boyfriends and girlfriends, and all they want is money. Don't talk to me anymore. so I like to think they were still small. Yeah, those were the that I won't forget.
Okay, we've got a question over here to the... Oh, go on. We'll come to you in a second.
Sorry, mate. Hi, Frankie. Sam Agas here from the South China Morning Post. You mentioned you're riding Senor Toba for Casper. Is there a chance we see you again in Hong Kong before you hang up the boots?
I don't know. I'm not going to say no because obviously Uh, I've been riding a lot for Mark Chan, as you know, and there was talks that maybe Kyrros might go to Hong Kong. So, but I haven't thought that far. So, I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to say yes.
Bob Kekeffer with Blood Horse. You're packing a lot into this last season. California has been an interesting experience for you, but what do you see as your schedule for the rest of the year? I mean, would you go to the Breeders' Cup and then maybe Japan, maybe Hong Kong before it's over?
Well, obviously, I'm going to go back Wednesday during the next 3 weeks. As you know, the Derby trials, Kentucky Derby trials are next week. So you never know. I could land on a nice freehold, but at the moment, I don't know. So and there's not much going on in England till the Craven meeting. So I could be at Santa Anita, could be in Florida, could be in New York or Keeneland next weekend. No idea. My agent Ron Anderson is like my babysitter. He does everything for me. And if I don't find a superstar freehold who can have a shot of winning the Kentucky Derby, I will be back in Newmarket to ride Childine in the Guineas. He's second favorite. I won a Group 1 with him, and he's Austin. I love to keep the ride on. So that's my plan. Then we run on to the Derby. It will be my last Royal Ascot, so that'll be another emotional moment because it means so much to me. Then it'll be a lot of touring with France, Ireland, Italy, my native country, obviously, and then we get to the fall where I probably have to have a day in Newmarket, where I'm from. It will be my last one at Ascot. I decided on that in England. Obviously, be another arc. I hope so. And then I will, after the Champions, I'm going to make my way to California for 2 weeks before the Breeders. And at the moment, the Breeders is what I think is my end. But, since it's my last season, if there is a good chance to go to Australia or Japan, I'm going to keep everything open, but, the end of the season is my end of the season. But if, like I said, if those races don't develop with something decent, Santa Anita be my last.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frankie. Would you like to say something to our Hong Kong racing fans? And then may I ask you, do you remember which is your most important victory in Hong Kong? Please, thank you.
No, that's a good one. Far Bravo was pretty amazing. I would just stick with that.
Sorry, Frankie. Ryan from racing.com in Australia. You mentioned they're potentially coming to Australia. Can you just tell us a little bit about the Melbourne Cup and why it's such a special race and why you'd like to win it?
Well, it's a major race that I haven't won. My wife's family are from Australia and New Zealand, so she has got a lot of relatives that for the last 30 years they keep on nagging at me why I haven't won it. So that's one of the reasons. And yeah, like I said, look, it's one of the major races in the calendar, and the Breeders' Cup is on a Saturday. 3 days later is the Melbourne Cup, so it'd be very silly to say no if I get a good opportunity to try again.
Is it more about getting the right opportunity rather than
absolutely,
actually riding the race here?
Yeah, I'm not going to fly 12 hours to run the track. No, I think now then it's my end of my career. I don't have to do that.
And maybe just one last one, or two more to come then.
Hi, Frankie. My question to you is, I know throughout your riding career, you haven't won the July Cup as yet. So have you been start looking your chances for the July Cup this year?
Of course, yeah. Obviously, it's ironic. The only Group 1 in England I haven't won is the July Cup. This is where I live for 37 years. And I think I've been second 4 times, so that's really annoying. And but look, sprinters are come and go, so we're pretty long way away from the July Cup. But I'm sure I'll be pretty high on the list if I want to ride something anyway because of that.
And one more from Nick.
Hi, Frankie. Just a quick one from me. You're here, there, and everywhere around the world at the moment. Do you have a secret to dealing with the jet lag?
Yeah, really, what I should have stuck to my secret last night, but I didn't. You should always go to bed when you're tired because you're still gonna get up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Last night I was trying to fight it, and I went to bed at 9, and I only had 4 hours sleep because I got up at 1. So that's the key, you know, especially when you're a sportsman, and I need my 7 hours of sleep. So I'm feeling a bit groggy this morning because I didn't stick to the rule. But luckily, I don't have to ride today.
Well, Frankie, thanks for taking the time to come in this morning. Best of luck on Saturday.
Yeah.
And let's hope you go out with
Can
a
you please
World Cup win.
torch Charlie for me, right?